Can you chat?
Always. I was just saying how long you were going to do that.
The entire, it was one verse.
I know. I was just like, wasn't going to interrupt you. Hello.
Hi there.
I sound congested, don't I?
You sound more now, actually, than you did when I walked in.
How you doing?
Good. Let me tell you about something.
Okay.
So this weekend, I went to a store with my mother-in-law because she's going on a trip.
Okay.
The store is Old Navy.
Okay. Way to bury the lead.
And I fucking hate that store.
You know what? I think it's a mother-in-law store because my mother-in-law yesterday said that she only buys her jeans.
Gabby's not our mother-in-law.
That's true.
She loves that place.
But yesterday, my mother-in-law said it's the only place she buys jeans.
So it's a store for mother-in-laws and Gabby.
She will be someone's mother-in-law.
A to-be mother-in-law.
Yeah, one day she will be someone's mother-in-law.
Okay, so I haven't been in Old Navy in 1,000,001 years, but I was like, she likes it there, and they were having some sort of a sale, and she needs stuff for
her trip.
So I was like, yeah, let's go. When you walk in, there's 2 ginormous signs on the door that say 50% off for all Old Navy cardholder members. Well, that happens to be her because she's the biggest fan of Old Navy, apparently.
Love it. Okay.
She's got the card. We're ready to roll. I'm like, oh my God, it's 50% off. Like,
that's a huge sale.
That's a big sale. So we're going around the whole store. Let's say you're going to have to help with some math, but let's say there's a quarter zip or a nutty, whatever. That's $40. First of all, like, wow, $40 at Old Navy. It feels like it should be cheaper, but fine. And the rack that it's on says 40% off. So then you're like, oh, okay, this nutty's really only going to cost me
like $28 or something.
Right. $28 on sale. And then at the end, my 50% off, $14 nutty. Right?
I would think. I don't know, though.
So we're like gathering things. She's trying stuff on. We're in deep. We get to the front. And like she rings everything up, and the total is like, I don't fucking know. But let's say the total is like $300. And I'm like, wow, we're going to get all this stuff for like $150. And the girl's like, oh no, that 50% off is only for, it doesn't count if the stuff is already marked down. And I was like, the whole store is marked down. The whole store is on a sale rack. And she was like, right, so like you get 50% off, but then you don't get the like 40% off or 20% off that's on the rack. So if the nutty was $40, it's just
20.
Yes, it's just 50% off. It negates all the other sales.
Okay.
Despite everything in the store being on sale, which comes to my point of I think the whole thing is just a ruse. Like I think they just price their shit higher. If you pay full price for something at Old Navy, you're being scammed. I think they just price their shit higher so that then you feel like you're getting some sort of a fucking deal. Like, there was stuff in there that was like, there was a jacket for like $120 at Old Navy.
I truthfully think all sales are a scam. They know how much they paid for the item. They're not going to lose money on an item.
Right.
So it's all arbitrary. I always feel that way.
Yeah, it's just like, their pricing, like jeans are like, $70 and you're like, wow, $70 jeans at Old Navy, like feels a little aggressive. But then it's like, oh, well, you get 30% off and then it's plus 10% off with your stupid Kohl's cash or whatever the fuck it is. And you're like, okay, so really these jeans are $40. Just say they're $40. Like that's why I like Target.
Yeah, I think
shit goes on sale at Target. But there's not like coupons. It's not, this, that, and the other. Take an extra whatever off of this on these days. No.
Well, every sale is always like a math problem. And you can never really tell how much you're supposed to pay for something. I think that's also part of it. It's like at the front, they're like, okay, it's $28. And you're like, I wasn't really sure once I did all that math if I was right or not. So that sounds right. Sure. You have the computer.
Yeah. It's just like 2 big signs on the door. 50% off for card holders. Then every fucking rack in the store is like 30% off. This like, but nothing is actually discounted.
No, it's all just what it should have been to begin with.
Correct.
But it's all like all sales are really like that.
And this is my PSA to please stop shopping at Old Navy, everybody, including mother-in-laws.
I don't want to shut Old Navy down though, because I do love their flip-flops.
Their flip-flops.
Just like for pools.
Those are like $4.
I know. You can buy like 3 for a summer. I don't really want to like come for any stores here. I just think you have to be a conscientious shopper. Like if you're going there, you know that's what's happening. Like when I go to Nordstrom Rack, I know I have to like hunt.
Yeah.
Align your expectations with reality.
Yes. But also, I think these stores have gotten a little out of hand. Like, no one is customer friendly anymore. Even Target just recently changed their return policy.
Oh, everyone is like very, I think because honestly, the influencers of the world kind of fucked us.
Why?
Because they were buying shit in bulk, you know, to do try-ons and like do this and then returning 85% of it. And no business can sustain when like, I read a whole article about this, how like stylists.
You wrote an article?
Oh, sorry, read. Did I say wrote?
I heard wrote.
Oh, no, I read.
Oh, I was
read.
like, please send me the link.
No, I read that like stylists and influencers are really what contributed to this like issue with returns, because businesses were getting so fucked at the end of every quarter. Like it would look like they did X amount in sales, but so much of it was coming back in returns. And with purchasing things online, people buy like the same shirt in 6 sizes. So it's like clearly they're not keeping all of those, that stores couldn't really project or like tell how much they were making. Like it's not like a free try on.
Right.
You're really only supposed to return things if like they really don't work out. So I read how like all these stores are changing their return policies.
It's just like really annoying.
No, it is when I want to return something.
And they're like, oh, well, you know, you can only return with a receipt. And if you don't have a receipt, then it's like a $50 limit on a return. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I got this $100 gift and I didn't get a receipt. So what am I supposed to do? So, yeah, I just wanted to issue a public service announcement that don't believe that. And I mean, if you want to keep shopping at Old Navy, then
you can just know that like you're getting swindled.
Totally.
Which is fine. Some people like it.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was lovely. What did I do? We celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday. It's a mother-in-law themed weekend. We celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday. We went up to Milwaukee for the day. We went to brunch because my brother-in-law was in town. My husband got his first speeding ticket.
Ooh, first ever?
Ever.
Wow.
And I honestly think we jinxed him. Because we were driving to Milwaukee. My mother-in-law and I drive the exact same. Aggressively and a little too fast. My husband drives extremely conscientiously, as you know. Like, he's an observer of rules of the road. He doesn't really speed. So we're driving to Milwaukee. And cops in Wisconsin are notorious for being, like, avid pull people over fiends. So we're driving. We're talking about it. How, like, he's gotten a little bit more aggressive. But he doesn't really, like, speed that much, whatever. He's never had a speeding ticket. We talk about this the whole way up. Last night he's leaving a concert in Wisconsin and it was like a rural road that dropped down, got pulled over at like 1:00 in the morning. The cop was super nice, but he now has his first speeding ticket. He's a degenerate like the rest of us.
Is he sad? Does that affect your insurance?
It does if it's like a extreme amount. The cop wrote it for like between 1 and 10 over, even though he was doing more, because he was like,
I'm sorry, I just have to say the fact that that's even a category between 1 and 10 over,
totally.
It should be like between 7 and 15.
Well,
if I'm going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, I'm not speeding.
Let it go. Well, also, I think you have to use some common sense. Like the cop was positioned right where this rural road goes from 50 to 25. And he even admitted, like, yeah, it's a big jump. Okay, well, give me a minute to adjust.
Right.
Like, I was going 50. I'm supposed to go 25. I can't slam on the brakes.
Right. So if I'm going 50 and then it's 25 and you clock me going 40, I'm decelerating.
I'm trying to get there.
Yes.
Like, and I can't go 25 before I see the sign for 25.
Right. No.
So I'm going 50. I see the sign. Give me a minute.
So is he going to fight it?
Yeah, I said you should go to court because, like, one, the cop might not come.
That's what they say, but I think cops are coming these days. Remember
Really?
when that happened to me?
Yeah. I don't know. It's small town Wisconsin.
I was one time driving on the road, and this was like a few years ago, but Bluetooth was still in our cars. I was like playing with my earring in my right ear, and there must have been a cop like on the side of the road on the right side who thought that I was holding my phone to my ear talking.
Right.
Which is not allowed, I guess.
Hasn't been forever since the
Right.
90s.
But like, I don't even think about that because I have Bluetooth in my car, and so do all of us. And so I was actually talking to you.
Yeah.
I look behind me, lights, sirens. I'm like, oh,
All for me?
you guys,
This is all for me.
please, a private escort.
All right. Thank you.
So I pull over. I'm like, I'm not speeding. Like, I just had pulled out of my neighborhood. He's like, hi there. Do you know why I'm pulling you over? I was like, I really don't, actually. I don't think I was speeding. And he was like, you're talking on your phone? And I was like, yes. And he was like, handheld whatevers are not allowed. And I was like, I'm just talking on Bluetooth. And he goes, ma'am, I saw you with your phone to your ear. I go, my phone is like in the console.
Yeah.
It wasn't to my ear. I'd have to like override my Bluetooth. I don't talk with my phone to my ear at home. Like,
I always use speakerphone.
exclusively speaker. Always speaker. Like, I don't even like the feeling.
I
change my phone to naturally when I answer, it goes to speaker.
I just like don't want to hold something there.
No, I don't want to hold something
Me either,
up to
yeah.
my phone. Up to my ear. So I'm like, no, I really wasn't. He was like, you had your hand to your ear and I saw you talking. And I was like, I think I was just like maybe playing with my earring, which is something that people do, but I was not talking on my phone. He goes, okay, yeah, I'm going to need to see your license. I was like, oh my God, this man, like,
Nothing I can do here.
there's nothing I can do. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. I take my stuff out to give him. He comes back up to the car and he's like, okay, so I'm going to be writing you a ticket for blah, 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 blah. And so I'm on the phone with my dad when he's talking to me. It's connected to Bluetooth. And I'm like, I just want you to see, sir, my phone is obviously connected to Bluetooth. Like, I'm talking on Bluetooth. And he was like, okay, yeah. Thank you so much for showing me that. But I'm going to give you this ticket for whatever. And I was like, this is such fucking bullshit. Like,
it's crazy.
So anyway, you specifically were like, go to court and fight it. Cops never show up in court.
Just he showed up that day. He was ready.
My dad showed up as my lawyer, as a lawyer, and as my lawyer.
He wasn't pretending.
And lo and behold, the police officer was sitting there in the thing ready to come up and talk. And I was like, damn you, Jonna. The cop came.
I think maybe they are coming more, but they really usually don't.
What was crazy, though, is that, like, he said his side, I said my side, and it's really like...
He said, she said.
Yeah, it's your word against theirs, and they're an officer...
Of the law.
And you're a measly little liar.
Yeah.
But the judge was like, I'm gonna... whatever.
Throw it out.
Like, move it down.
Oh, I'd reduce it.
Yeah, she was like, I'm gonna reduce it to just a fine. That's like the minimum, whatever. It was like $75 or something, and it's not gonna go on your
record.
But she was like, but you do really have to be careful. And I was like, I
couldn't be any more careful.
I couldn't be any more careful, but thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing I will say, like, Tyler was so mature about it. Like, he was like, I was breaking the law. Where I am like, I always feel like I am right. Like, even when I am caught red-handed speeding, I'm like, the audacity. Like, I've never...
You used to get pulled over speeding coming from my
house,
my parents' old house all the time.
Yeah, it's insane. And
you were like, oh, another speeding ticket. I was like, why don't you stop?
Like, to be honest, like, you were falsely accused of something. I've never been. You've only been speeding. I've only been truly accused of things I've been doing, and I'm still irate. Where he was like, I broke the law, and I was like, oh my fucking God, no. The punishment did not fit the crime. He literally has never. Now my mom said that you can't see if someone's never had a speeding ticket. It only shows like the last like 3 years or something.
Oh.
But I was like, not ever.
Does it show if they're a criminal? Like, he doesn't have any like sort of.
I'm so sorry. He is the most upstanding citizen. He has been driving for 14 years without a speeding ticket.
Crazy.
Not even a parking ticket.
Not even a whisper.
So it's more that he's upset about his run being ruined. And I am just appalled that good deeds do not go. What is it? Good deeds
go.
No good deed goes unpunished.
No good deed goes unpunished, as they say in Wicked.
And that is how I'm feeling today.
It does kind of make you think, like, you know, if a cop says they see you doing something and you weren't doing it, which obviously is going on everywhere, but did you watch that 2020 I told you to watch?
Oh my God. Yeah. The Karen Reade. You know what's crazy? As someone who really follows true crime, I didn't hear much about it.
People had, though. Like, there were a lot of articles about it.
Interesting. I mean, I did a Google after and it was very clearly written about and things, but
Should I give a little summary for anyone who hasn't seen? Okay, so the Karen Reade story is she's like a 30-something, 40-something?
Something.
From Boston. And this was in like
It was post-COVID.
Yeah.
Like 2022 or 2023.
Yeah. And she was...
Isn't that crazy? I feel like everything in my life is pre-COVID or post-COVID.
Yeah. PC or PC.
Like if it's post-COVID, it's like, oh my God, it was so recent. If it was before COVID, I'm like, you mean 20
Another
years
life?
ago?
Yeah. So she was dating this Boston cop. What was his name?
Johnny.
John
O'Keefe.
Who was like really beloved in the community. His sister and his sister's husband had both like tragically passed away within like months of each other, leaving behind like an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old or something like that, young kids. And he took the kids in and was like their adopted parent. And so, you know how like a lot of cops are like really familial and like everyone kind of like rallied around and supported him, and so like he was just very beloved. And he started dating this woman Karen. They were dating for what, a couple years?
No, not even. They dated, they reconnected later, started dating. It was
at like a birthday party of one of his cousins or something.
Yeah, it was in her mind a little more serious, TBD, but like they weren't living together or anything, but she did see the kids.
Right. Okay. So they're out one night and there's like a blizzard warning that like the whole city is going to be shut down overnight. Like going to get really bad storms. Tomorrow is going to be like a closed day for everybody. So they're like, oh, let's go out to some bars because everything's going to be closed tomorrow. So they go out on like a Tuesday and they're drinking. And he's like, let's go back to one of his cop buddies' houses for like after drinks. Again, this is a Tuesday, but
it's Boston.
We're in Boston. And so she's like, yeah, let's go. Why?
No, she's like, I'm not really in the mood to go, but I'll bring you. She drives him over there. He's going in to like check the vibe to see. She's like, ugh, I'm not really in the mood. He's like, all right, let me go in, see if I'm going to stay. She's like, all right, no problem. He runs in the house. She's on her phone. She never sees him come back out. So she's like pissed that he was supposed to come out or text her and like say whether he's staying or not.
Yeah, like she's like sitting in the driveway. Again, it's like already starting to blizzard. But like she says she sees him run in the house. She's like, I'm going to wait a few minutes to hear from him. She doesn't hear from him. She starts calling him, not answering. She's like, what the fuck? Am I supposed to like take you home or not? So then she's pissed and leaves. Goes home, goes to bed. She goes back to his house. His kids are there. She wakes up at like, I don't know, 4 a.m. and he's still not home. So she's like calling the people, the cop whose house he was at, his wife, saying like, is he there? She's like, no, he never came inside. She's like, what? Freaks out. Drives back there. They're like looking everywhere for him. They end up finding him on the side of the road, like dead. And so the case begins from there that he was found dead outside of a police officer's house. Did she have something to do with his murder?
But there's really no facts. That's what we were talking about. Like I watched it with my family. There's no facts beyond that. Like the meat of the case is what happens leading up to it. And then it's all circumstantial. There's like nothing else that comes out. There's no physical evidence.
Well, there's about like them and
I just mean like there's nothing to the case. It's like the craziest thing. He's found dead. There's a ton of theories.
Someone was Googling something. I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theories, but there's nothing to really solidify anything. And it's a very did she, didn't she? And I lean towards she did have something to do with it.
You do?
But I don't ever think it was purposeful. Like, I don't think anything was premeditated.
Okay.
I don't think she's like a evil person, but I think they were all drinking a lot.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it up to you guys, but it was just, I was really thinking about it from the perspective of like, let's say she really didn't do it. Yeah. And like you just drop off your boyfriend. You're like, this motherfucker goes inside and is having so much fun. He doesn't remember to text me back. Goodbye. You drive home. He never comes back home. Then you're like freaking out. You find out he's dead on the side of the road. And then his family and friends start saying you killed him. I'd be like, what? And then they're like, well, if she was innocent, why would she get a lawyer? Because you're accusing me of murder.
Yes. But she also kind of planted the seed like the next day. It really does remind me like when someone has a guilty conscience and they're like, you can look in my bag. Like, I didn't take that. It's like, I didn't think you did take that. But now you're making me think you did. Like the next day she was like, and his family was looking at me kind of weird. So I said to my dad, I think they think I killed him. And it's like, that's a pretty big leap. Why would his family think you killed him?
Agreed.
It's like a little kid being like, I didn't have a cookie. It's like, I feel like you did. I think you did have a cookie.
I feel like maybe you did eat a cookie.
Like, why you got cookies on the brain? Why you got killing him on the brain? Karen Reade?
So that's our true crime update.
Yeah, no, highly recommend the 2020. I just wanted more evidence.
You wanted more?
I wanted more.
Okay.
Do you want an icebreaker?
Oh, I'd love one.
Okay, so we all did this in the car yesterday. What is your dream strip mall? So someone comes to you, they say, hey, I have a strip mall. It has 5 locations. You can put anything you want in there. What are you putting in?
Whew. Do we have to include like big box stores like Target?
You don't have to, but you can.
I don't know. I mean, like,
you can. Like, I put a Costco, which is I've never seen in a strip mall. This is like a dream scenario.
So it's 5 stores and you can only go to these 5 stores.
No, it's just like your favorite strip mall. Like, oh my God, this would make my life so much easier. I go to this strip mall.
I do kind of feel like we already have that because everything is in like...
Well, where we live, we're actually extremely blessed. But like in general.
Okay.
Like it can be also things that are like not regionally here.
Oh. Like what?
Like I put a Dutch Bros in. I love Dutch Bros coffee. We don't have them.
Where's that?
I know it's in Kansas City. I think there's some in Michigan. There's Arizona.
You like that more than stuff in LA?
I do. Well, I mean, now that I don't love the coffee bean as much, I like Earth way more, but Earth doesn't feel like a chain to me. Like I'm doing chain stores.
You could have Earth.
It's not really a chain though.
Okay.
I mean, I'll switch it to Earth if I could, but like I did Costco, Nordstrom Rack, Home Goods.
If you do a Home Goods TJ Maxx combo, does that count as 2 stores?
No, it's 1.
Really?
I didn't do a Home Goods TJ Maxx because like I prefer Nordstrom Rack. And I'd rather just like a better Home Goods.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like when it's a Home Goods TJ Maxx combo, they don't get the inventory.
I'll save myself the store and do a combo.
Okay. So I do Costco, Nordstrom Rack, let's say Earth Cafe if I'm allowed to switch it, Home Goods, and what was my 5th? Oh, I did a like a breakfast place, like a buttermilk.
Oh, okay. That's your favorite?
No, but just like a diner.
Well, you could pick
a Walker Brothers.
Oh, great choice. Okay. I think it's a more interesting question if you can only do like these are the only 5 stores near you.
Sure.
Would you still pick Walker? You know, like this strip mall is near you. It's only 5 places, so it's like a restaurant.
No, I wouldn't still do Walker Brothers, but like then it feels like I have to pick like a catch-all restaurant. Like what am I putting in Applebee's?
Portillo's.
No. I'd want something with a wider menu.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Like Applebee's. Like that's not breakfast, but like
do they serve breakfast at Applebee's?
No, but I just mean like I'd want something that does it all.
Okay.
Like you could get like a great appetizer at Applebee's.
Can you?
Yeah. You ever had mozzarella sticks?
Where is there an Applebee's?
Oh, God. I don't know. I haven't been to one in so long, but I loved it growing up.
We didn't even we went to one like once in college. We were big Chili's ladies.
Oh, my God. I loved Chili's when I was older, but when I was growing up, Applebee's was our restaurant.
Okay, I'm going to go with Target, obviously, because you can get like everything in the world.
I said yesterday that you would say that.
100%. Target.
I guessed yours, actually, and I want to see if I'm right.
Okay. Target, I would do a combo Home Goods TJ Maxx. So I'm at 2.
No, yeah, you're at 2. I thought you were saying you were 2, like, for those 2. Yeah.
Then I would do Froyo.
Oh, that's good. I didn't guess that for you.
What?
I wasn't even thinking about desserts, which is crazy knowing you. But
Yeah, really. The Target that I have in there has a Starbucks in it, so
oh, okay.
I'm doing some combo stores.
Deep diving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Target with a Starbucks, TJ Maxx Home Goods combo, Froyo store, Froyo / can I make up my own?
No, it has to be a real. That's why I was like, where are you going?
Oh, okay.
Because then I'd make up like an everything store that sells Gucci.
I want to say chocolate chop ice cream, but I don't want to throw that out there and make people want to go there.
Yeah, why support a small business?
It's not a small business.
All right,
They have a
fine.
lot of chains.
Okay.
So Froyo / ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3. I have 2 more options. I should do a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay. Like my dream restaurant that would be right there. I'm going to go with Portillo's Barnelli's combo because that is just like to be right by one of those. It's a catch-all. Like you could do like salads, Italian food.
But what sucks
Fast
is you
food.
can't just sit and have a waitress or a waiter bring you things.
Okay, moneybags.
So
Why do you need a waiter to bring you things? Order at the counter.
no, but sometimes it's nice, just like sit and have like someone bring you the stuff you ordered
That's a different experience.
that you're apparently not going to have.
No, I'm adding another restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You didn't let me finish.
And Stony River.
Oh, that's good. Those are good.
They serve brunch
They do?
Yeah.
Why have we never gone?
because what we like there is a dinner food.
Why have I just found this out? I'd like to go. I'd like to decide for myself.
I don't want to tell all of our listeners about how much we love Stony River. It's already hard to get a reservation as is.
But maybe they would put another one in. You
Who?
can't be so
A
selfish.
listener?
You can't be so selfish with your likes.
I want to gatekeep Stony River.
Gatekeeping is wrong.
So yeah.
Murder, gossip, gatekeeping.
Gatekeep. What were your guesses for me?
I only got 3 of them, the first 3. I said Target, TJ Maxx, Home Goods. What else did I say for you? Oh, I actually said Dunkin'. I thought you were going to put a Dunkin' in, so I was wrong.
I would have but I think it is a more interesting question if it's like the only 5 near you. You have to survive on these.
I mean, I ain't going to do that.
You're not?
No, I need like 12 stores.
But that's why it's more challenging.
Well, Costco still stands. I love my Costco.
You wouldn't put Target in?
No, I have Costco.
They don't have all the same shit. You
No.
can't get whatever the fuck you want there.
I'd still do Costco. I'd maybe switch it to a Starbucks if it's the only ones I can go to.
You could still have a Dutch baby.
It's Dutch Bros. Costco, Dutch Bros, Home Goods, Nordstrom Rack. I don't think I'd change it.
Wow.
Walgreens, maybe Walgreens.
Because you have Costco and you can't get like small items.
Yeah, like Walgreens.
Sure.
Just for like photo printing, medicine. I just love Costco's prepared foods. They do have clothes. They have patio furniture. They have jewelry. They have plants.
Jewelry.
Like, I could literally get everything.
You would pick Costco over Target.
Well, especially if you're saying it's the only place I can go.
Yeah, Target.
Target
100%.
is so overpriced for some stuff.
Such as
Just like home necessities.
$4 frames.
Well, I'm not talking about frames. I don't really put those under home necessities.
What's a home necessity?
Toilet paper.
That's not overpriced.
I feel like it is at Target.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't done the research, but it just feels like more. Like when I go to Target to buy stuff, I always feel like I spend more.
Because there's so much that you want.
Like at Target, I could spend $100, or at Costco, I could spend $150, but it lasts me like 8 months.
Yeah, because you have 17 bags of popcorn.
Which is amazing.
I don't want all that popcorn.
I do. I want to buy in bulk.
Okay.
When you mentioned Wicked earlier, it made me think about, did you see that Ariana Grande finally like commented on her relationship
With
with her co-star?
yes.
And it's just so crazy to me because she's usually so public about everything. Like she was so public with Pete Davidson. Obviously Mac Miller was very tragic, but she was so public. And now she's like,
Were they together when he?
no,
Okay.
no. But I think that really did fuck her up.
Totally.
But she was talking about how her relationship with Ethan Slater is like, you know, been so controversial. And so basically the context of it is she was married, he was married, he had just had a child, they were co-starring in Wicked together, and stories started to come out that they were seeing each other and there was a lot of overlap. People felt like he left his wife and child for her. And so she finally, for the first time, really addressed it. She had an interview with Vanity Fair, and she basically said like she never really said anything about the timeline, which I thought was interesting. But she goes, the most disappointing part of how the public saw their relationship was that they were so willing to believe these like horrible things about them. And it's like, but were they true, or are you just mad we believed them?
Did she come out and say like, yes, we are together?
Oh yeah, they're definitely together.
That's been confirmed.
Yes, it's been confirmed. And then she basically said the most disappointing part was to see so many people believe the worst version of it. There couldn't be a less accurate depiction of a human being. So she said, I thought her words were chosen very carefully. She said there couldn't be a less accurate depiction of a human being than the one that the tabloids spread about him. Not there couldn't be a less accurate depiction of our relationship. No one on this earth tries harder or spreads themselves thinner to be there for the people that they love and care about.
No one on this earth feels a little out of touch.
I mean, there's no one on this earth.
People working, 3 jobs to support their families, and this guy who cheated on his wife and has 1 kid.
Yeah.
And is a, actor.
She said there's no one on this earth with a better heart, and that is something that no bullshit tabloid can rewrite in real life.
That is something that no bullshit tabloid can rewrite in real life.
And I just found it really interesting because she was like very, very vocal about how great he is and how like this was such a horrible time and that people were so willing to believe the worst in them. But I have not seen a statement where she said it wasn't true.
No, I mean, it is true because they're together and he was married. So there's no.
But that's where I'm like, better to just say nothing still. Because now I'm more annoyed. And especially if I'm the ex-wife, like, oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about how selfless my ex-husband is. She's just like so out of touch in the shit she does. Like I always want to like Ariana Grande. And then I can't.
What makes you want to like her?
I don't know. She's a human.
Oh, just generally.
I don't know her. It feels weird to dislike someone I don't know.
I don't like most people, I'd say. Like if I like you genuinely, like on a personal level, I feel like, I really do like you. You like everybody.
No, I don't know if I like everyone. I come from a place of like, I'm sure you're great.
I don't just like, I don't have like I pity like that person. Like I'm like, if I don't like somebody, I don't like them. There's a bad vibe.
I just feel like to dislike, people get so fired up about celebrities like Anne Hathaway.
I'm talking about real people.
Oh, well, real people I do genuinely like usually to begin with. I start from a place of liking.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I do. I do start from a place of liking people.
I, in real life, start from a place of no feeling about somebody. Like you don't like affect me one way or the other. And then if I end up liking that person, it's like, wow.
Oh no, I start from liking them.
Just right off the bat. I don't know you and I like you.
No, liking's the wrong word. Like
when you first started dating your husband, you were like, I just want you to really like him. I was like, I have to get to know him.
Oh, in that situation, I start from liking. Like if someone introduces me to, like if someone I know introduces me to someone, whether it's someone they're dating or their friend, I assume I'm going to like them.
I don't.
Like I can't.
Maybe they like them. I don't know if I will. I can be like cordial with them, but I can't genuinely like everybody.
Like when you like, I actually knew your husband first, so it would have been weird if you were like, I just want you to like him, and I was like, I actually already know him. I grew up with him.
Great guy.
But like your best friend from growing up, before I met her, I was like, I'm sure I'm gonna love her. Spoiler alert, I do.
She's great.
But I wasn't like indifferent. I'll have to see. Like when you were like,
shout out to Morgan,
yeah,
who is a listener.
Like if you were like introducing me to Morgan, I wasn't like, well, we'll see where this goes. Like I was like,
that's how I am.
No, I know. I am not though. Like when you were like, I'm getting introduced to my friend Morgan, I was like, great. I'm excited to get to know this person.
Oh, I'm not like that at all. Like you were like, I'm going to introduce you to Mel. And I was like,
also a listener.
And I was like, great. I'm glad you love Mel. Well, and then like we spent some time together. I was like, she seems very nice. Like again, very neutral. Like I don't genuinely like you until I've spent some time with you and I decide whether I can like you or not like you.
Well,
I'm at a 0
and I'm at a 5.
And on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah. I come into people at a 5.
No. 5 is neutral.
No. Oh.
I was going to go into the negatives.
Oh.
0's neutral. Yeah, 0's neutral.
Yeah.
You're a 5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're naturally at a 5. I'm naturally at a 0. And I need some time to know whether I'm going to go into the negative towards 10 or the positive towards 10.
I'm not a sociopath. I'm not coming in at a 9. Like, you're a stranger. How much can I like you? But, like, I'm erring towards you being a person I want to be around. If there is a valid connection. I don't mean, like, people I see at the grocery store. I don't, like, hand someone the eggs and be like, want to get to know each other. But, like, if someone I care about is vouching for this person, I assume they're a 5.
It just takes a lot for me to like really genuinely like someone.
But why is that?
I don't know.
What happened to you as a child?
I don't know. That's a great question. That's something I'll have to explore.
Could you dive into it for next week?
My childhood?
Was someone mean to you? Like you came in at a 5 and they were at a -1?
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with being the youngest, that it's like, you're like, isn't this cool? And everyone who's older than you is like, no, that's not cool at all. And you're like, fuck me.
Fuck me. Yeah, it is interesting. You don't come in at a 5.
I don't come in at a 5. I'm just like, again, very neutral. I don't dislike you. I'm just like, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah,
then if I do end up liking someone like Miata.
Yes.
I just love Miata. It's a vibe.
See, like a couple of times you have come in at a 0 and like literally only ever gotten to a 2.
Who are you talking about?
I mean, I don't have anyone specific. You just like a lot, like very commonly people are like, I'm not sure if Rachel likes me. And I'm like, no, she does.
Not usually.
Not usually what?
Do I like them?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say that to people.
Oh.
It's not generally thought of.
I just feel like I really like, it's hard for me to fake if I don't like you. And it's not that most people I don't like. Most people I'm like, I'd say 95% of people I'm extremely neutral about. And then like 3% I strongly dislike. And then 2% I truly love.
I just can be social with really anyone.
I can be social.
Like I can be like chipper.
Like
I can be like, I can get along with anyone. Like I don't think people would know if I do or don't like them.
I don't know if that's true.
I do. I'm like so pleasant. I'm like, whatever.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I'm trying to think of someone you don't like.
Well, that's if I genuinely don't like you, like for a reason, I'm not even interacting with you.
I just feel like the same, how you are with people is how you are with like everything else. It's like everything is great. And so you can't trust your opinion on anything. You're like, oh, we just went to this restaurant. Like Tyler gets food poisoning and you're like, this place was the best.
No.
And so you're like, was the place good or not?
You know what? It's not.
You're not discerning.
I just like a lot of things.
Yeah, so your opinion has no value.
I mean, I guess I just don't. No, I don't think my opinion has no value. I think.
So when you're like, oh my gosh, I met the coolest person at this blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we'll see about that.
I just like people. It's just easier to like people than put the energy into not.
I think it's easier to have no feelings about them.
I like them in the moment and I'm like, bye. See you later.
My mom was just saying, if there's room in my heart, there's room in my home. And I thought, that's interesting. It's not that there's no room in my home. There's no room in my heart.
Yeah, you just don't want new people.
No, like if it's someone that I really am going to have, like, what if you like Haley?
Yeah.
You love Haley.
Of course. She's my sister-in-law.
So like you have to love her because she's your sister-in-law, but you don't have to like her.
No, but I do.
You just went into it being like, you're great. You're
I'm
my
gonna love
sister-in-law.
you. Yeah.
I'm going to love you.
Yeah. That's life.
Like for me personally, I don't have to love Haley.
Right.
It's Tyler's sister. Like I could like her or not.
Yep.
But I actually do really like her.
And
that doesn't that mean more?
Yes. But like, you just never have to worry about introducing me to anyone. You're a wild card. Like, you could introduce me to your neighbor's cousin's sister's friend. And
I'm not introducing them. That's the difference between you and I. If I'm introducing you to somebody, I don't give a shit if you like them or not.
Well.
Or if they like you. I like them. I like you. It doesn't matter if you two like each other.
I like everyone to get along. I like the symbiotic moment. Like, you're more of a wild card.
I just am neutral about most people. Just like takes me a minute to really, that's why I was just like, I wanted to literally murder you when you first started dating Tyler. You were like, I just want you to love him. And I was like, I am neutral about him and I have to get to know him a little to love him. I can't just love him.
Well, that's crazy.
Love is a genuine feeling. Not to you.
No, it is a genuine feeling, but it comes like, I'm trying to think of a situation. Like my friend Alex, she moved to Canada. She will never live here again. Her partner, she's going to marry one day, is Canadian. So like, oh, Canada, adios, America. I've literally only been able to meet Ryan twice, but I love him. Like, I love him for the way he treats her and how happy she is. And like, I'm just so grateful that she has him. And like, I don't get to spend that much time with him, but like via the way she describes him, I know a lot about him and feel like a affinity for him.
Okay, we actually feel the same. You're just calling it love. Like, I love Ryan for Alex. I think he seems like a great guy. I don't have any personal feelings for Ryan. Like, I'm not like, oh, Ryan, special part of my life. I'm like, I love Ryan for Alex. Great guy. When I saw Ryan when they were in town, I was like, oh my God, Ryan.
You're great.
You're great. But then like, I'm not like, and I love Ryan. Like, I love Ryan for Alex. I don't love him personally. I don't know him.
I don't know him.
I can't love you if I don't know you. I can love you for someone and love the idea of that, but I can't love you. And I don't think I'm alone in that.
I don't know.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with me. So anywho's, there's no room in my heart or home.
Definitely not your home. You hate hosting.
No, there's no room in my home either.
There's room in both for me. Less my heart, but my home, definitely.
No,
I love people, but I'm at max capacity.
You've got room everywhere. Come on over, everybody.
Come one, come all.
Speaking of people who are in my heart.
Yeah.
Hoda.
How are you doing?
You know how I love Hoda.
How are you doing?
I was sad to hear for sure. Like, I was like, what the fuck? I feel like we're just like...
We're getting into groove, Hoda.
Yeah, she was entering like her mom era. She had
Yeah.
just moved to the suburbs. She's talking about like, you know, her kids. I don't love Jenna
People love Jenna.
as much as I love Hoda. I think she's like a good counterpart to Hoda. It's kind of how I feel about like Kelly Ripa's co-hosts over the years. Like, you know, did I love Michael Strahan or Ryan Seacrest? No. Like, Kelly is the main one, and she just has a rotating cast of people who've come through. That's sort of how I felt about Hoda. So now she's leaving, and what was crazy is that like it really seemed like she must have been in talks, like negotiations or what, because she announced it, like she called everyone the night before to tell them that like, hey, I'm not going to sign another contract. So then the next day on the show, it was really like so fresh. It's not like they all knew and like had known over the summer.
Right.
Like Jenna talked about how like she found out the night before and like called her dad, and he was like, he thought someone had died because she was crying so hard. George George W.
George W. I love when she tells a story about her quote dad. It's like, we know George.
Her quote dad.
But she's like, so I called my dad. It's like, George, we all know.
But so more is obviously coming out about the departure, and she was kind of saying like, listen, we do a morning show. It's a great job, and it's very time consuming. You lose your mornings. Obviously, they probably have to be there at like 4:00 in the morning for hair and makeup.
Not a
and
job
whatever.
for you. Really, not a job for me either.
No. So she's like, I have my girls. I want to like get them ready in the morning and send them off to school, and like that's a priority for me now. And so like I just don't think this is the right fit anymore. And everyone was saying like, wow, it takes such a big person to leave something when you're on top, like to leave such a great thing, which, very noble. But this article now is saying new reasons are coming to light from a surprising new report. The report says that NBC executives asked her to take a pay cut. Hoda reportedly makes upwards of $20 million a year.
Holy shit.
Quote, NBC executives loved Hoda and knew her value to the brand, but also made clear to her agents that such stratospheric contracts were no longer justifiable given the industry's inexorable decline, due in part to the steep ratings decline affecting Today and competitors like Good Morning America.
Due to podcasts.
Yeah, because people are so busy
listening to their
podcasts. And so she wasn't going to continue to be paid her $20 million a year. And she was like, this just isn't
for me.
This isn't it for me anymore. And she's a woman who knows her worth.
Totally. I mean, damn. I think if someone offered me to do the same job for $5 million, I'd be like, where do I sign?
It's all relative.
But I also do think it probably felt like one of those situations that felt like written in the stars. Like, I'm sure it was on the back of her, like, mind that her daughters are getting to an age where she wants to get them ready for school, and then they ask her to take a pay cut, and it's like, okay, I was already kind of feeling like this maybe isn't a good fit anymore, and now I'm going to make less money to do the thing that I'm away from my kids for. What's the point?
Yeah.
I'm sure if they came back with a $30 million contract, she would have been like, oh, okay, I can do another 5 years.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I'm sure she'll still be like part of the NBC family. She loves the Olympics.
I'm sure she'll fill in,
Yeah. She'll be around.
Who are they saying is going to take her spot?
All speculation at this very moment. It's a very like, have you watched the?
Yeah.
So it's very like girly. Like
Yeah.
they do like products and like book talk and like, stuff like that. Celeb stories.
We're available.
Yeah, obviously. But so they're saying like ideally it would be another woman.
Yeah.
I would love Keke Palmer.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't think she's being talked about for it at all. Obviously, they have to do screen testing with Jenna and whoever it is, because now we're tied to Jenna.
I like Jenna. You don't?
I just don't think she's the anchor of that show. I think Hoda was the anchor of the show.
Well, Jenna better get ready to step up.
I've heard rumblings of Justin Sylvester.
Oh my God, I love him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see them vibing.
Exactly.
I wish Morgan Stewart wanted to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I would love her, but I also don't think they would do two white women.
And this is in New York, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be someone who wants to move to New York.
Yeah.
Or lives in New York. So yeah, I was just so sad to hear that.
I mean, I wouldn't be sad if they got rid of Jenna and did Morgan and Justin.
Didn't they already have that?
That would be a reboot of Daily Pop, which I have still no clue why that went away, but neither here nor there.
I think because like something really crazy happened at E.
Yeah, E had a real shakeup.
I mean, I used to watch E
all the time.
Whatever. What was that show? E News?
E News, Daily Pop, Nightly Pop, like really good content.
It was
for
like
a while.
an hour of celeb news with Juliana Rancic, and then all those people just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, E did something weird. They had Chelsea Lately, like they had great shows.
Yeah.
Who's
that
to
network
say?
went to shit.
Yeah, went to hell in a handbasket. Did you hear about dear sweet Dame Maggie Smith?
Oh, I did. Was she sick?
I mean, no, but
Did
like
it say?
it said she passed peacefully at 89, surrounded by family and friends.
She passed peacefully at 89, just like she went to bed one night and didn't
No,
wake
she was
up?
in the hospital.
Oh.
But the statement said like she was a very private person, but she was surrounded by her family and friends. So I'm sure she was in the hospital for something we didn't know about. But it's like the end of an era. I come at it from a Harry Potter and Downton Abbey experience. I know some people are split, but I love both. And it's like we lost Snape, we lost Dumbledore, we lost McGonagall.
Oh, you're talking about Harry Potter?
I'm using words you don't know anything about, yeah.
I was sad about Downton.
I know, I just said that I'm from both.
But Harry Potter? Who was she in that?
Professor McGonagall.
Boy, does that roll off the tongue.
Yeah. Her name was Minerva McGonagall.
Oh, okay.
But she was like
that name gets on my nerves.
No. She was like the professor for Harry, Hermione, and Ron.
Oh.
Like for Gryffindor. 10 points for Gryffindor.
She was the Dowager Countess.
She was also that. What is a weekend?
I don't want to give anything from the Downton movies away.
Because everyone should be watching it. It's so good.
Just big spoiler alert if you haven't, but it's just so sad that at the end of the last movie she dies.
She didn't die.
What?
They just said goodbye to her. I think they were trying to say like you might not be here for the next one, but in case you are.
No, her whole family was around.
She didn't die.
Yeah, no, she died. Remember the whole family was in there and they were all like, it was like a scene. Everyone's just like crying. Nobody's talking and they're just like sniffling.
Yeah, I do.
And she is like laying on her deathbed and she opens her eyes and she goes, "Stop that noise at once. I can't hear myself die."
Yes. Oh, you're right. I totally misremembered.
It was so like funny and sad.
R.I.P.
So yeah, that was kind of sad because art imitating life.
But
imitating art.
Imitating life. But she had a beautiful career and a beautiful life.
89 doesn't feel old enough as someone who lost their grandma when they were 84 only.
You know, it is crazy as we like get older, so everyone in our life gets older. Old doesn't seem old anymore. R.I.P. Dowager. Very quotable lady.
Super quotable. Do you want to do a Daily Dilemma?
Please.
Which was posted in one of our local like township.
Ooh.
Boards.
Local news.
Yep. Okay. So local district here, it's a mom posting saying like,
it's always a mom posting.
We're having a school board meeting and I
Okay.
want parents who are like in support of this to come.
Great.
She said, "I feel that our district's grading system prioritizes test scores over homework, impacting students with testing anxiety and their mental well-being. Oh, tests are weighted higher than homework is, which obviously
makes sense.
impacts your grade more." And she wrote, "Not all teachers allow retakes, and some that do only allow potential for half the points back. This severely impacts students with testing anxiety." So she said, "Please come to the board meeting if you are in support of this, etc." And then, you know, it of course ignited a slew of comments. Someone saying most college and higher ed institutions rely on maybe 1 or 2 exams in a semester and that's it. No attendance, homework, projects, etc. I feel that it's just preparing them for the future, what's to come. And then someone else wrote, "That's not how it is in the workplace, though. Like, obviously, your attendance at work and your rapport with people, like things on the everyday, is much more than how you do in one presentation. So it's a back and forth." And I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. So this mom is basically saying, am I in the wrong? And it's like kind of the, are we being too soft on students now or not? Like, is it just like, that's how the school is and sorry?
I think a little bit, and I understand what she's saying. And if you have a child who has testing anxiety, that's a struggle.
But like, didn't you have testing anxiety?
No, I actually never had any school anxiety, which is crazy because I like am the most anxious person I personally know.
I just mean like, so many of our friends testing, like they're like, I get really anxious about tests.
But so
then you have to take the test and then it's over. And maybe you don't do so well and then things go on.
I do kind of feel like that is how work is. Like someone who shows up to work every single day, mazel tov. Thank you for coming. But if you cannot give a presentation, if that is your job, coming every day doesn't do anything. Eventually they're going to say, thank you for coming. Don't
come anymore. Though.
Don't come anymore.
Thank you for coming, but maybe don't keep coming.
So you come here every day and we want you to stop.
To not come here.
We want you to do something else. And so we're going to take this badge and that's it. Bye.
And that'll be the end of that.
Like each teacher has their own process, I'm sure, in high school. And so I'm sure there's some teachers that attendance matters a lot more and they have more projects and like that might be one path for a job. There might be some classes where it's test heavy. Like every scenario you enter yourself into is going to have a different set of parameters. And if you're someone who has test anxiety or presentation anxiety, a career where you have to do those sort of things might not suit you. Maybe you do need to go into a career that's more evenly, I don't even know what the word is, like evenly distributing responsibility. Maybe you work better in teams. Maybe you like don't want to be the center of attention. IT. Like
back end support.
I just think like not everything is always fair. Like my strengths sometimes didn't align with my classes and sometimes they did.
Right.
No one had a board meeting for me.
It really made me think about like the bigger picture, I guess, in that like parents feel that they have some sort of a say in how teachers do things.
I think in general, and I think there's so many benefits to the way our generation parents, and I say this disclaimer, I do not have children, and I'm sure my words will come back to bite me in the ass when I do. But here we are. I think there's become like, even though there's so many benefits to the way that we parent, what I've observed is that everyone is an expert on their own kid, rightfully so. But when your kid goes into a group setting, they're just one of 30. And so they can't get, and they shouldn't get, that sort of individualized attention at the detriment of the other kids. And also, no offense, they're not that special. I wasn't that special.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have been.
No offense, your kid isn't that special.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
unless they actually are special in that they have special needs.
And they need a specialized program.
They are supposed to get what they need.
I don't understand this approach that like, okay, your kid gets test anxiety. Totally get that. If it's bad enough that they need an IEP, that's one route. And then they will get individualized attention and longer test taking. If it's just your run-of-the-mill test taking, they'll get over it or they'll pick a career that's better suited for that sort of anxiety.
It just really made me think like this woman, just the fact that this woman feels like she has, it obviously came from somewhere, right? So like, I'm sure a million years ago, if you didn't like what kids were learning in school or you didn't like whatever, you didn't really feel like you had a say. You were like, this person's teacher is an asshole and that's who your teacher is this year. And, you know, there was like a respect for teachers and school personnel, I think, that somehow has gone away in some sense. But like, so then people were like, no, you speak up. You're a child in the classroom. If you have a problem with something, say something. And now it's like we've almost gone too far. Where like this woman feeling like she can post and say that her opinion means really anything in how the district weights tests and then their grading scale. Like, thank you for sharing. No one asked. If you want to weight tests less heavily, why don't you look into homeschooling?
Well, and then you have the flip side. So then you have the parent who comes in and is like, my kid is amazing at test taking. We travel all the time. So he's at the max amount of attendance or minimum attendance. And, you know, he struggles to get his homework done because he's in 17 sports. So it actually works better for him. He learns the material at his own pace, aces the test, and has a 98 in the class. So why are we changing? You know, like every child.
There's a hat for every head.
There's a hat for every head. Like there is just this understanding. I think there used to be this understanding that like the
school professionals know best.
And the middle of the, I'm not saying they always know best, but the middle of the road is the best path forward. And if your kid is an outlier on either side, then they need to find a different resource. But we don't change the whole grading system Because that's true. You get to college, you have some professors who say there's 3 tests, don't care if I ever see you. You have other professors who are like, check in every single day, you'll get 5 points for attendance, and I only do
our econ class.
Yeah, like, I don't know. But in bosses, that teacher was an asshole, guess what? You're going to have bosses who are assholes.
Yep.
You're going to have coworkers who are assholes.
And like, do I think that needs to be like, you know, shoved down your throat when you're in first grade? Like, well, sorry, your teacher's not understanding. You're
Right,
going to have
of
a
course.
boss who's an asshole. It's like, okay,
place.
well, I'm 6.
I'm speaking more about high school because that's what I, for some reason, thought that this was.
Yes.
But I think even with younger kids, I think we're almost overeducated. You know, like parents, even in the 90s, they didn't know anything about child development. They read maybe 3 books. They dropped their kid off at school, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
But now, like, everyone's like, well, my therapist said, and I read an article online, and I listened to a podcast about early childhood development.
And they're saying that, you know,
what really works for kids. It's like there's too many armchair experts.
there's too many people who think that they have a valid opinion. When, like, there probably is no one right answer to
Of course not.
the majority of things. There's no one right answer. There's
usually
a number.
I'm right, but yeah.
Sure. There's a number of different right approaches to things. Whether that's the way that works for you or not, who knows? But in a public school system, we're just trying to appease the masses.
It is like an HOA.
Oh, you love HOAs.
I fucking hate HOAs. We live in an HOA. Okay? Amazing.
We live in an HOA, okay?
They do a lot of amazing things for us. It irritates me that we cannot have political signs in our yard.
It irritates you that you can't.
Cannot.
You want to have political signs in your yard?
I think there should be a limit. I don't think you should have like a political like graveyard, but I would like to have a Harris Wall sign in my yard. But we can't. And I have to observe that rule. And I enjoy being a part of the HOA. And even though that specific part doesn't align with what I'd like,
there are parts of the HOA that probably
serve you. And so, and I understand that not everyone can use discretion. So while I want to put a Harris Wall sign in my yard, someone else might want to put a giant Trump sign on their fucking garage door. And I don't want that. So I have to play by the rules because it doesn't, like, as an HOA is an adult elementary school. It tells you what you can and cannot do on the playground. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that. I don't always agree with it, but I appreciate it.
Keeps us all in line.
Keeps us all in line. And that's what we need.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that, like, maybe you're, like, sitting at home talking to your partner saying, like, I just feel like there's such a strong emphasis on, like, testing and not as much about, like, you know, your everyday work and homework and whatever. Like, they're getting such good grades on this, but they failed this test, and so now they're looking at getting a C in the class. That kind of sucks. Like, yeah, that's a conversation to have at home. And if you want to, like, have a meeting with the teacher and be like, I just want to understand, like, maybe there's something else that they can do because I know that they get the material, but they're not doing well on the test. So, like, what else can we do? But, like, making it, like, a public issue. Yeah. And just, like, again, not coming from the perspective of, like, having respect for, like, the person as a teacher. Like, they're not a babysitter. They went to college and oftentimes beyond to be certified to do this. They do know more about education than you.
Yeah.
Yes, you know your child better than them, but your child is not the only person that they're teaching.
And your kid is not the same person in the classroom.
True
like
that.
We have friends who are teachers who are like, it is so fucking annoying because Johnny does X, Y, or Z, and then I write a letter to go home, and the mom's like, he would never. And it's like, oh, really? Because that's not what we're getting here.
And they're like, okay, well, yeah, I just wasted, you know, the last 10 minutes of my free period during the day sending this email bullshitting you. Yeah, he didn't actually do that. No, your kid's a dick at school.
My mom always fucking believed teachers, and they were always coming for me.
What were they coming for? What were you doing?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was a talker.
Oh.
And they would move me, and they'd be like, you know, we move. John is doing really well in school. Like, she gets the material. We cannot get her to shut the fuck up.
The nuns frowned upon talking in class, huh?
Yeah.
Nuns aren't that talkative in general. So
I didn't have any nuns.
This bitch will not.
I didn't have any nuns, but I had some teachers who were like, we need this bitch to shut up. And my mom would be like, Jana. And I was like, they're lying. She was like, I don't believe
Those teachers are lying, obviously.
They're liars.
Those nuns and priests, they're lying to you. Your mom was like, I don't think so.
And you're falling for it like a goddamn patsy.
Well, I'm glad you love talking because
So do you.
so do I.
All right, we'll call you later.
Call you later. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, I had to call you back really quickly. You know what we forgot to say?
That we're not going to be here next week.
Oh, right. We're not going to be here next week. Excellent. And we would love it if you would follow, like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Yeah, if you could just, give us a little follow on the platforms, then our producer would leave us alone.
Yeah, he's like standing over us like, say it, say it. So follow, like, subscribe. Love you. Bye.